has also condemned Manama's heavy-handed response to peaceful demonstrations. Bahraini forces backed by troops from Saudi Arabia have killed dozens of people and arrested thousands more since anti-regime demonstrations erupted earlier this year. The crackdown has continued a month after the government promised reforms in response to accusations of systematic abuse by its security forces.
Clouds of tear gas smoke and the sounds of screaming protesters. These scenes have become typical of Bahrain as protesters persist in their demands despite the regime's harsh Saudi-backed crackdown. On Sunday, regime forces attacked thousands of mourners near the capital, Manama. The mourners were chanting anti-regime slogans, protesting against the death of 73-year-old Ali Ahmad, who was killed by government forces in a village near the capital. Video footage posted online shows regime forces storming a roundabout where protesters were chanting slogans. Dozens of people were injured when regime forces attacked protesters in the same area on Saturday. Analysts say the chances of international intervention are remote.
The world is not a fair world and it has double standards when it deals with countries depending on where that country might lie in the Western camp. And in Bahrain, as most of you know and most people know, Bahrain, that's a red line. We're not seeing really the revolutions that we see in Egypt or Libya to be backed by Western countries. You know, in Bahrain, even if half of the country is slaughtered there by the regime, we're not going to see any calls for the regime to step down. And if the regime is forced to step down, it will be replaced by a regime that will be loyal to the Western powers. So, no, I don't see any end in Bahrain, not the end that we saw in Egypt, Libya, which is the downfall of the regime. I don't believe we will see that.
Since mid-February, a large number of protesters have been killed by regime forces. There seems to be no let-up in the deadly crackdown, and reforms promised by the ruling Al Khalifa family are still up in the air, while the publication of a highly critical report last month has found the regime guilty of using excessive force and torture against protesters.